Esther, is there something wrong with you?
Yes, Mother. Oh, I mean, no, Mother.
Esther's in love! Esther's in love!
Quiet!
Esther's in love!
Quiet, you two. You've caused enough trouble for one night.
It's just impossible to have a private life in this house.
Is this where the Smith family resides? Here's some ice cream to be delivered.
Ice cream! Papa, Agnes nearly got hit by the trolley, and I knocked my tooth out, and it's been an absolutely perfect Halloween!
That's nice. I don't suppose you're ready for more good news.
What? Tell us!
Yes, Lonnie. What is it?
The firm is sending me to New York.
Is that all? I think we can live without you for a few days.
You'll be back in time for Thanksgiving, I hope, Mr. Smith. I just ordered the turkey.
No, you don't understand. I'm going to New York to take over the New York office. We're moving.
Moving?
To New York?
I don't believe it. I simply don't believe it.
It's true. I start the first of the year. We'll leave right after Christmas. I thought we'd spend one last Christmas in St. Louis.
I'll go pack. I'll start digging up my dolls.
Come back here. There will be no packing or digging as yet. There are a great many things still to talk over.
Why, Anna, I thought you'd be overjoyed.
Well, New York is a big city. It's not that St. Louis isn't big. It just doesn't seem very big out here where we live. What will the children do?
Same thing they do today. Go to school, play, have friends over.
What friends?
Yes, what friends?
The friends you'll make in school.
But I don't go to school.
You will someday, if they'll take you.
All the people I care about are in St. Louis.
And I'm going to be a senior next year. I've worked my entire life to be a senior.
You'll be a senior in New York.
I must say you're very calm, Alonso. Packing us off lock, stock, and barrel.
Anna, I have our future to think of. Lon's in Princeton. Rose may be going to college. And Esther. Where's the money going to come from?
Money? I hate, loathe, despise, and abominate money.
You also spend it.
And what about the World's Fair, just when St. Louis is about to become the center of the whole entire universe?
We'll come back and see the fair, most likely.
And what about Katie? And Grandpa? And what about the chickens?
A minor detail. We'll figure it out later.
So I'm a minor detail, am I?
I meant the chickens.
Oh, of course, at a time like this, never mind about your family. Talk about chickens.
Well, I could see we're all a little excited. Now, we'll talk about this tomorrow when everyone's had a chance to calm down a bit. Now, how about some ice cream and cake? Agnes, Tootie? What's the matter with all of you? I've never seen this family behave so strangely.
What did you expect, Alonso? This little bombshell affects a lot of lives, not just yours. The children are upset. They love St. Louis.
St. Louis has been all right, but it's an old-fashioned kind of place. Let's expand and grow. Let's up and go to a city with drive and class and style and grace. What is so rare as a day in New York? Who wouldn't hanker to stay in New York? on the wide avenues. There's anything and everything a connoisseur will choose. People are friendly and fair in New York, helpful and kind everywhere in New York, scintillating and smart, industrious, illustrious, and generous of heart. Busy and dizzy, the city's pretty pattern is. Breezy and easy, the spirit of Manhattan is. People have vigor and pep in New York, and there's a spring to their step in New York. They'll welcome you to the fall with all the thrills you can hold. Nothing is nicer than old New York.
What you call the truth isn't all the truth.
Folks live in holes in the wall in New York, in skyscrapers 10 stories tall in New York.
They rob you deaf, dumb, and blind.
So when you shop, you better stop and leave your cash behind.
I'm in my prime, but I'll fade in New York. Soon be a lonely old maid in New York. Without John, her future looks dim, 'cause all her schemes and all her dreams revolve around him.
Crowded and loud, it's a nightmare just to think of it.
Gives me the shivers imagining the stink of him. We'll miss the fair if we're there in New York. There's nothing like that anywhere in New York. The summer's horrid, I'm told, and winter's horrid and cold. Heaven protect us from old New York.
Nothing is nicer, no, not Argentina, Carolina, or China, or Cork. Nothing is nicer than old.
And we'll miss the fair. Heaven protect us this idea of breakfast. Who wants to live in New York?
Well, the only thing I can think of to mend matters is a hickory nut cake, as only Katie can make it.
I'm taking my cat. Where are you going to keep it? Cooped up in some tenement?
I just can't. I can't go now. I just can't.
Goodness sakes, don't they have houses in New York?
Rich people have houses. People like us live in apartments. Tenements.
I'd rather be poor if we couldn't stay here. I'd rather go live with the orphalins in the orphalins' home.
What about the World's Fair?
Katie, this cake is as light as a feather.
You can bake anything on that stove. They've got little box stoves in tenements.
Rose?
No, thank you, Papa. I'll have some later before bed.
It's your favorite too, Esther.
No, Papa. I had too much at the ice cream parlor with
Grandpa, think you can handle this?
No. Well, yes.
And I suppose you two are going to fight over the candy flower.
You can have the candy flower, Tootie. No, thank you. Just the same. I'm starting a tunnel right under the trolley tracks into Mrs. Middleton's front yard. And then one day while she's walking on her lawn, I'll grab her by the leg. It'll take months. And I'm not leaving till I'm finished.
Don't use that impertinent tone with your father.
Excuse me. I have some things to pack.
me too. I also.
Me too. Me too.
How about a game of cribbage?
Oh, not tonight, Lonnie. I have some things I have to do.
Anna, if anyone asks you about me, tell them I'm out, celebrating my promotion, alone. Aren't you afraid of being alone here with a criminal? All I'm trying to do is make more money so that I can give my beloved family everything they deserve. Apparently, that's worse than murder. I'm a fiend,
It's not,
ruining everyone's life.
it's not as bad as all that, Alonso. It just came as a bit of a shock. If you think we should leave St. Louis, why, that's what we'll do. I heard a bell long years ago. My young heart melted, and you're someone who should know. That's how our love began, and still I love to tell of how I felt. I heard a bell.
It's good to hear you singing, Anna. It's been so long. Wonderful days of old lang syne. Wasn't it fine? Wasn't it fun? Ours is a romance second to none. Rain and sun, sun and rain, tears and laughter, joy and pain. Sun and rain, rain and sun, lifetimes and lifetimes rolled into one.
And always such fun,
Always so fine, wonderful days of old lang syne, and merry, very, simply because your hand was in mine.
Here you go, Katie.
Oh, it's lovely having our Princeton men home for Christmas.
Our last St. Louis Christmas.
Please, I don't want to talk about it.
Not only our last Christmas, but a Christmas Eve without a ball.
That Lucille Ballard is crazy for not going to the ball with the handsomest man in town.
A girl has a right to go to a dance whenever she wants. I just didn't ask her soon enough.
Everybody knows she's a typical Eastern snob.
Look who's talking. Sulking around because Warren isn't taking you to the ball?
Have to admit, Rose, it is partly your fault. My fault? Warren asked you twice to go to the ball with him, and you just kept him dangling. Dangling? You did, Rose. It's unfortunate that Lucille Ballard arrived in St. Louis just when Warren was beginning to feel that you were not taking him seriously.
I wouldn't go to the ball with Warren Sheffield if you were the only boy in St. Louis.
Oh, yes, you would.
This is what I call the real Christmas spirit. You two have spent this entire vacation at each other's throats. Alonzo Smith, has it ever occurred to you that you might ask your sister to the dance?
Ew.
What?
Is there anything wrong with going with your own brother?
And be the laughingstock of St. Louis?
Well, thank you very much.
Katie's right. This is our last Christmas in St. Louis, and it would be tragic if either of you missed the ball.
It's all right for you to talk. You have a date. A real one.
Well, even if I didn't have a date with John Truitt, which I have, I would be delighted to go to the ball with my own brother.
Then it's settled.
Oh, wait a minute. What's S got to do with this?
Well, if the both of you won't go, I won't go either.
You two ought to be ashamed, wrecking your poor sister's Christmas.
Rose, I'd be willing. Glad to.
You would, Lon?
In fact, I was going to ask you anyway.
Oh, thank you.
Thank goodness that's settled.
And you two will have the best time of anyone. You won't have to be polite to each other.
I could just strangle that Lucille Ballard.
Why?
Don't you see it's all her fault accepting an invitation from your beau?
Why, F, you're right. It is her fault.
I know. We'll give Lucille Ballard an evening she will never forget.
How?
By being ever so thoughtful in filling out her dance card for her.
But what will...
With the names of the city's most eligible bachelors.
Who?
Clinton Badger.
Clinton Badger? Ooh, but Esther, he's not... Esther, you wicked thing. You wicked, wonderful thing. How about Pee Wee Drummond?
And Sidney Purvis.
Oh, this is divine, just too divine.
We'll give Lucille a taste of St. Louis hospitality.
Boyfriend's headed this way.
Who?
Someone who looks an awful lot like John Druitt.
Oh, come along, Agnes. You can help me pick out my jewelry for tonight.
Do I have to?
John.
Yes, I'm afraid I'm bringing bad news.
What is it?
It's awful. I can't take you to the dance tonight.
Oh no, your aunt at the hospital?
No, my tuxedo at the tailor's. It's locked up. By the time basketball practice ran so late, and I got to the store, there was a sign on the window, closed.
Well, just find the tailor and ask him to open up the shop.
All I know is his name is Jones, and he lives somewhere in St. Louis.
Jones? That's as bad as Smith. Can't you find somebody else's to borrow?
Everyone who owns a tuxedo is already going to the ball.
What about your father's?
That was my father's.
This is ghastly.
Yes, I'm sorry. Would you like to go somewhere else tonight?
No, I'm just going to stay home and pack a few things. We're going to New York in a few days.
I know. This is a fine going away present I'm giving you. I bet you must really hate me.
No, John, I don't hate you. I just hate basketball.
Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Did something happen with John?
He can't take me to the dance tonight.
What? Why not?
His father's tuxedo is locked up at the tailor's.
Oh, that's awful. But don't worry, Lon will take both of us.
You don't think I'm going to the smartest ball of the season with my own brother, do you?
Well, I like that. I'm going with him.
Well, that was different. You didn't have a date.
Neither have you.
Well, I did.
If Lon's good enough to take me to the dance, he's good enough to take you.
One sister going to the ball with her brother's already been done. Two sisters would just make the whole family look ridiculous. I won't do it.
We'll see what Mama has to say about that.
Dear Esther, you know eavesdropping is one of my favorite hobbies.
Grandpa.
Now. You know, with your hair like this, you're the very image of your grandma. I remember the first dance I took her to. Her father said she had to be home by 10:30, and she was crying just like you are now.
I'm sorry. You must think I'm an awful baby.
No. It isn't often that a pretty girl has a real legitimate reason to cry. Funny thing, with all this packing, I took my tuxedo out of mothballs yesterday. Looks pretty good, too.
Grandpa, are you offering to lend it to John?
Oh, I would in a minute, my dear, if it would fit him, but I'm afraid your young man would look a little ridiculous in my tuxedo. But you know, a suit's a lot like a man. Loves to step out every once in a while with a pretty dress. So if you're...
Grandpa, are you inviting me?
Of course I am, if it's acceptable to you.
Oh, Grandpa, you're wonderful. I'm going to the dance with the most handsome man in town.
You can just tell everybody there you're there with an old flame. 1, 2, 3.
Warren. Hello, Lucille.
Hello, Lon.
Miss Smith, may I present Miss Valerie?
It's lovely to get to know you. Lon has told me so much about his two beautiful sisters.
He has?
Are you Esther or Rose?
Esther will be along in just a moment.
Oh, but then you must be Rose.
Mr. Sheffield, I will thank you to not interrupt me.
Rose, may I say something? I know that if Warren had his way, he'd be here with you tonight.
Lucille, you don't have.
Do you deny it, Warren?
Oh, no.
Good. But that seems to leave me without an escort. Lon, perhaps
do my best.
And I'll give you all evening to figure it out.
Hello, everybody. How are you, Warren?
Just fine, thank you. Lucille, this is Esther.
I've been most eager to meet you.
You have?
We'll be such good friends. And you must be Grandpa Profiker. You're one of my favorite people.
We met perhaps in another life.
Lon has gone on for hours singing your praises.
I can imagine any young man wanting to sing for hours on any subject with you.
We've been talking, and
I'm sure you have, Rose. I hope you don't mind, Miss Ballard.
Please,
But-
help me, Lucille.
All right, Lucille. I hope you don't mind, but Rose and I have taken the liberty of filling your dance card out for you.
Well, how thoughtful of you, Esther. I was thrilled to hear you moving to New York.
You are?
We'll have such fun. You must let me give you your first party. You will, won't you?
Well, I'm not sure.
Esther, we've been talking, and Lucille suggested that Warren and I be partners for the evening.
But I thought,
So Lon seems to have a new partner too. The plans have been changed.
but what about
Miss Smith, what is this about Miss Ballard's dance card?
Oh, I seem to have mislaid it.
Maybe you could look behind your back.
Oh, here it is.
Clinton Badger, Pee Wee Drummond, Sidney Purvis. This isn't a dance card. It's a sentence to hard labor.
Lucille, may I have this dance, please?
I don't know. We'll have to look at my cards. You're on it.
Here, that one's mine. This one's yours.
Why, Lon, you're my first partner.
Miss Esther, where is this Miss Judy Ballard you signed me up for? I's ready.
Well, Clinton, I hope you don't mind, but I've taken all her partners for the evening.
Mine? Wowee! Clint Badger gets to dance with Miss Esther Smith. Wowee!
Ow! Pee Wee Drummond. Oh no! Oh, Sidney Purvis. It just gets better. Ow.
Let's hear it for Esther Smith and Sidney Purvis.